Today's video is about Artemisia Gentileschi. Before I get into her story, I would like to warn that there are mentions of sexual violence and torture. If these subjects are upsetting or triggering to you in any way, please proceed with caution. I have other videos about other artists if you would like to check those out instead. Artemisia Gentileschi was an artist working in the Baroque style, particularly in the Caravagesque style, which is defined by intense chiaroscuro and a high degree of naturalism based on the artist Caravaggio. Artemisia is an important figure in art history as she was a woman who was paid for her painting labor and worked for very important patrons such as King Charles I. Despite many hardships, Artemisia Gentileschi was able to have a successful career as an artist, a rarity for women at the time. Artemisia Gentileschi was born in Rome, Italy, July 6, 1593. Her mother died when Artemisia was still a child. Artemisia's father, Orazio Gentileschi, already enjoyed notoriety as a Mannerist painter who liked to work in other artists' styles. He was well known as a follower of Caravaggio. When Artemisia was 10, she began studying art under her father. Her father resisted this education, but Artemisia would paint anyway. Artemisia's paintings resembled her father's for so long that there is a lot of difficulty telling them apart, and very few are attributed to Artemisia. One very telling aspect of Artemisia Gentileschi's work is the theme of strong women or women as the central focus. In Susanna and the Elders, completed in 1610 when Artemisia would have been 17, a biblical scene is depicted where a young married woman is leered at by two men while trying to bathe. Susanna holds her hands up as if she could physically block the men's words. Her face is twisted in shock and disgust. This piece is a far cry from other depictions of women as meek and submissive. Susanna and the Elders was created around the same time that Artemisia's father, Orazio, sued his studio assistant, Agostino Tassi, for raping Artemisia. During the trial, Artemisia was subjected to a form of strappato torture to ensure she told the truth about the events. Her fingers were tied to strings and pulled. Orazio Gentileschi and Artemisia Gentileschi going through with the trial was a significant decision. They had to consider Artemisia's future. Because Artemisia was raped, she was seen as impure, meaning that she could not marry in the eyes of the Catholic Church. The trial resulted in a guilty verdict for Tassi, and Artemisia's virtue in the eyes of the Catholic Church was restored. A common commentary found about Artemisia is that her artworks are a representation of her trauma. In particular, Judith slaying Holofernes is said to depict Artemisia herself decapitating her rapist. While Artemisia's image is in the painting, it is worth knowing that Artemisia often put her own image in historical and biblical settings. Yes, she very well could have used this painting as a way to gain power over the situation and perhaps express her anger. Still, one must also examine Artemisia's penchant for pushing the boundaries of what women artists were pressured to be and do. Also, Artemisia liked to interact with the trope referred to as power of woman that was prevalent beginning in the 14th century medieval artwork in which women assert power over men. Artemisia soon after married a Florentine man and eventually had 3 to 4 children. In 1616, Artemisia was admitted into the Florence Academy of Design. This admittance was a very significant moment as Artemisia was the first woman ever admitted. The Florence Academy of Design was founded by Cosimo I de' Medici at the insistence of Renaissance painter Giorgio Vasari. Many iconic artists were members at some point, including Michelangelo. Eventually, Artemisia became associated with the Medici court. The Medicis were a very powerful family in Florence, and this association allowed a lot of workflow for Artemisia. Artemisia moved around to different cities like Rome, Venice, and eventually London. Around 1638, Artemisia joined her father Orazio in King Charles I's court in London as a court painter. Artemisia worked hard and diligently during this time, assisting her father. During this time, Artemisia painted self-portrait as the allegory of painting. Began around 1638 and finished in 1639, this painting depicts Artemisia herself in the act of painting. Different from other painters' self-portraits, this painting is a radical depiction of a woman as the allegory of painting, which was typically painted male. This painting is a representation of Artemisia's ongoing ideal that women are just as good as men and deserve to be in the room where important things happen. This painting, like many others by Artemisia Gentileschi, inspired women during her life and centuries after her death. Artemisia shows women everywhere that their dreams are possible. Yes, you might have to work harder. Yes, bad things could happen during the process. But overall, you can be happy and you can do what you love. Artemisia's father, Orazio, passed away suddenly in 1639. Artemisia continued to fulfill her commissions until she left England by 1642. Not much is known about where Artemisia went, but she was known to be in Naples in 1649, corresponding with a mentor. Artworks attributed to Artemisia in this period were probably commissions. It is debated when Artemisia Gentileschi died, but evidence shows that she was accepting commissions in 1654, though she was dependent on her assistant. In 1656, a devastating plague ripped through Naples, killing an entire generation of artists. It is suspected that Artemisia died at this point. She was buried in San Giovanni Battista de' Fiorenti in Naples, but her tomb disappeared by the time the church was partially destroyed in World War II. Artemisia Gentileschi's impactful artworks contributed to the future careers of many other women in Italy. Her pieces speak of the love, rage, and dedication that women are capable of. She inspires me to keep reaching for my dreams even when things feel impossible. I hope that you too are inspired by Artemisia Gentileschi. Thank you so much for staying until the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Please consider supporting me on Patreon, where I post videos a day early and other special content. I also have an Etsy where you can buy stickers like these, and I have more coming very soon. Thank you so much again, and have a good one!